officially passed the halfway point for the first anime season of the year. How's everything been for you, hey? Has this season been treating you well? I mean, it sure has for me, and I've picked up a couple of shows that I haven't even paid attention to entering 2024. I think it's a good time to start looking back and sharing what I think are the hottest new shows so far. So let's dive in and check out the top 10 best new winter anime thus far now, shall we? Let's start things off spicy with Chain Soldier at number 10.
総組長はヒーローを目指す物語だ。
Chain Soldier was an anime that got quite a lot of people excited as we approached the season. I'd say that the expectations were met and you pretty much got what you think you'll get from the anime. The rather controversial themes are there, the fights are great, and you get some crisp character designs that help bring the colourful cast to life. Unfortunately, it could just be me as a source reader talking, but things just don't hit as hard. I mean, don't get me wrong, in terms of what it advertised itself as, an ecchi action title that doesn't hesitate to push boundaries on what can be shown on TV. For that, it gets the job done. If you're up for those things, then Chain Soldier is a great watch regardless, even if those things don't look as cool as they did in manga form. That's why I still put it as one of the top 10 new anime we got for this season. Fittingly, we have Villainess Level 99 in the 9th spot.
ドルクネス伯爵家長女ユミエラ・ドルクネスレベル99。
We've done this dance before, haven't we? And an assuming character enters a magical school but is actually the most powerful being in the universe who wants nothing to do with the clout that comes with it. Just wanting to stay out of the limelight despite being a secret OP is something several characters can empathize with, but to see it done in a reincarnation otome RPG setting caught my eye, and as far as the halfway mark goes, it really worked out well. Sure, there's nothing too mind-blowing about this plot, but the characters and the world mesh well enough together, and they help carry you through the intrigues that the story builds up. The MC is a bundle of joy to watch, and her interactions with the rest of her schoolmates make this a very fun show that you won't regret picking up. After going through a lot of reincarnated into an otome RPG shows that involve avoiding bad endings, seeing this different approach to the plot is actually a breath of fresh air. At number 8 we have The Unwanted Undead Adventurer.
ありえないだろう!
Now I'm going to preface this with what I said about Villainess Level 99. It's not our first rodeo with an anime told from the perspective of a skeleton main character. Overlord is obviously the most popular amongst these shows, but I think we can extend that a bit to Skeleton Knight in Another World. However, what Unwanted Undead Adventurer decided to do a bit differently is place the emphasis on this being a more methodical, even introspective look as what it means to be reborn as well as a pile of bones. This anime has a slightly slower pace, and the production decisions with the visuals and the monologues really hammer home the more deliberate main character-centric approach. It helps give a good look at what Rent is like, and it's something that I appreciate a lot. Still, that kind of decision can be hit or miss. Some people have found it a bit too slow for its own good, and I'm inclined to agree. All that despite me just saying that I appreciate the effort in the heavily character-centric approach. Feel free to give it a shot though. I think it's veering close to being underrated, but I can see why the slow pacing is a miss for a lot of anime fans. Sasaki and Peeps is number 7 on the list.
Yeah.
ピーちゃん、ここどこ?
Now, here's a show that I completely overlooked entering the season. The funny thing is, I still don't know what to make of it halfway through. I can't say I was displeased with the story of magical escapades, and I do think it's quite an interesting take on the isekai genre, all things considered. The thing with Sasaki and Peeps is that it tries going for the wholesome and whimsical approach in isekai. It starts off establishing itself as a healing anime, a comfy slice of life featuring an adult protagonist, before throwing us into a wonderful story full of mysteries, one that incorporates the real world as much as the other world. That kind of approach isn't something you see too often in the genre, with it giving me some flashbacks of Uncle from Another World, except that one is heavily focused on comedy and irony. I'd say that Sasaki and Peeps does have the issue of lacking a clear focus at the start, but as something that wants to lean towards the wholesome slice of life category, I mean, I guess that is to be expected, isn't it? Still, if you're one of those who are tired of the power fantasies and the like, you'll find Sasaki a nice change of pace.
じゃあね、おじさん。
Next on the list is one of the best action anime of the season, Ninja Kamui. While I can't definitively say Ninja Kamui is the best anime this season since it's a bit too early for us to tell for this series, but I can definitely tell you why it's generating a lot of buzz and why you might just dig it. Firstly, the action is straight up fire. We're talking slick, brutal ninja showdowns with fluid animation that'll make your jaw drop. Think flashy moves, deadly blades, and a whole lot of blood if you're into that. It's like a martial arts movie coming to life, and it's executed with some serious style. I guess we shouldn't be surprised since it's made by the same guy who directed season 1 of Jujutsu Kaisen and God of High School. Secondly, the story, though familiar, is gripping thanks to its mysterious elements and hidden identities. Thirdly, the visuals are stunning. From the detailed character designs to the atmospheric backdrops, everything pops with color and style. It's a feast for the eyes, and it complements the action perfectly. So should you add Ninja Kamui to your watch list? Well, if you crave pulse-pounding action, beautiful visuals, and a dash of intrigue, then absolutely. Just don't expect Shakespearean storytelling or profound character development, but hey, sometimes you just want to see ninjas kick major butt, and Ninja Kamui delivers on that front in spades. Meanwhile, go hit the like button to show your support and help the video with the YouTube algorithm. With that out of the way, let's continue. Fifth on the list is the 7th time loop. Surprise, surprise, we've got another Otome-themed hit on our hands this winter. This time, how about incorporating things with time loops and multiple lives, like ReZero or Summertime Render? That's basically what 7th Time Loop is, an anime starring a female protagonist who's gone through possibly every experience under the sun in her previous 6 lives. However, this current life places her on a collision course with a royal marriage with the one who's killed her before. Things start to turn serious, and that's exactly how I wanted it to be. This is an anime that does a great job juggling the usual reincarnation tropes with some new flavor, giving a new dynamic to the tried and true loop anime formula we've come to expect great things from. If you're fond of anime with medieval and villainous story vibes, then this one is worth a shot. The loop gimmick is cool and all, but while that can make you try it out, it's the charming characters and the vibrant art and animation that will make you stay for the ride.
どうか俺の妻になってほしい。
The wrong way to use healing magic comes in at number 4.
魔法陣
In the ever-saturating world of isekai anime, there are only a few more gimmicks we can throw in it to make it seem unique, right? Well, not exactly. Considering that we're almost a decade into the boom and the anime and light novel industry keeps finding new permutations of gimmicks, mixing and matching them to give a lot of similar titles to a differentiating factor or two. The wrong way to use healing magic also falls into that category. A lot of the things here are tropes we've seen before, and every man protagonist getting a special skill in his transition to another world is one. A world with black and white morality as well as elements of both racism is 2. However, this anime manages to keep things seemingly fresh with how it plays these tropes and showcases the quirky characters whose archetypes we're quite familiar with yet now see in a new light. I mean, it's not every day we see the titular wrong way to use healing magic for things like overcoming training from hell. The anime is quite absurd and funny, yet it also contains a plethora of hype moments amidst all of the comedy, moments that make the show quite similar to a traditional shonen ran through the lens of the modern era. Starting our top 3 is Delicious in Dungeon. Just as expected, Delicious in Dungeon is delivered on all fronts in anime form. Entering the season, I had high hopes for this, and I thought that it would be one of the hits that would resonate with a lot of anime fans. I thought that it would ride the momentum of Frieren, a show I find a bit similar in terms of demographic, as well as atmosphere and vibes, and become more popular than it currently is, but Delicious in Dungeon isn't in a bad place at all. As for the things that needed a lot of emphasis, such as food and characters, Trigger has done a wonderful job. The food is beautifully animated, and the characters all bring out the best of each other with their interactions and unique charm. In a lot of ways, it's one of the most grounded as far as a fantasy show can go if we consider what we've had this season. Delicious in Dungeon can be described as light-hearted and delightful, even goofy in its approach to telling about an adventure. It's not the first time we've seen isekai anime integrated with cooking, but this is one of my favorite ones because of how much it integrates the fantasy setting into the cuisine it presents.
それは食うか食われるか
そこには上も下もなく、ただひたすらに食は生の特権であった。ダンジョン飯。
At number 2 we have A Sign of Affection.
わかった。わかった。
A romance involving an impaired main girl should evoke memories of A Silent Voice, now with the caveat of featuring an adult cast of characters. It fits the bill for most part, giving us a sweet romance and highlighting themes of building connections and acceptance. A bit idealistic and romanticised with how it portrays the main couple and how boundaries are overcome, buoyed by some great art that helps give off that cinematic feeling at times. I admit it does lean towards escapist fantasy, with the impairment not exactly being at the forefront, but I also think that fluffy escapism is the point of the anime. While it may seem juvenile in its presentation for those expecting to be shown a whole lot of realism and social hurdles, I think the goal of the series is to evoke those hopeful, throbbing feelings that tug our heartstrings, not giving a care as to whether the way we get there be too idealistic. It heavily caters to a specific demographic looking to live through a social introvert main character, but it does so in an excellent way if you happen to be part of said market. Finally, we have the most hyped anime of the season, Solo Leveling. There's no question that Solo Leveling is the one anime everyone was so excited about entering the season. It's one of the most popular web novels and webtoons after all, and people just couldn't wait to see it make its anime debut. Given the previous mishaps the anime industry had with adapting webtoons, I'm more than happy that Solo Leveling made such a smooth transition into anime form. The important parts, at least like the cool visuals and the music and voice acting, were brought to life in this anime adaptation. By putting Solo Leveling at number 1 on this list, I also got to address the elephant in the room. Yes, I agree that Solo Leveling isn't exactly peak storytelling, relying heavily on the ever-popular weak to strong story beats. It's not a perfect adaptation with how it's paced. However, it's a long way from where we were in 2020 with webtoon adaptations, and if we're going with the way the action scenes and the exciting elements of the source material were captured, this adaptation passes with flying colours. Solo Leveling is never about the deep story, and its appeal comes from the rule of cool. If you're a battle shonen fan who understood as much, you'll find a lot to like about this anime. And that's my list of the top 10 anime of the season that you should try watching. We've got a whole range of genres this winter that doesn't seem as top heavy as some of the other seasons. If you want to vouch for a show that you feel deserves a spot here, go ahead and tell me about it, and I'll be sure to check it out. As we finish the video, I want to thank you very much for watching this all the way through to the end. I hope you had fun or found something new to watch. Until next time.